You ready?
Whenever you are. Come on down. It's Otwell Middle School, the place to be, where the Bulldogs rule. Inside these walls in Sikkim Studios, David and Greg on the mic. Here we go. Got the latest scoops and the hottest takes. The perfect podcast, whatever it takes. From the hallways to the games. Have you not heard that show around? Here we go. Yeah. Unleash the Bulldogs. Let's hear the roar. Talking about everything and so much more. Bulldogs Unleashed. We're live on the air. David and Greg, we're right here.
Sikkim Studios, baby. First two.
Need a great meal where the biscuits are fine. Sonic Mountain Biscuit Company there on the line.
Yum.
Looking for a ride, yeah, something slick. Andy Chevrolet, yeah, they're the ones to pick. Craving some chips and a little salsa dip.
Yum,
Los Rios
yum.
Cantina, a fantastic trip.
Right.
We got the best sponsors. We want to thank them all for bringing this show to the halls. Unleash the Bulldogs, let's hear the roar.
Bring it.
Talking about everything and so much more. Bulldogs Unleashed, we're live on the air. David and Greg, we're right here.
Let's go, David. We out. Season 4, baby.
Back for season 4. Wow. Can't believe we made it this far, dude. Can you believe it?
No, we're back, baby.
We are back in a new location.
Yeah.
Sikkim Studios has moved. We're still in Otwell Middle School. We're just down the hall in the new AV broadcast and film room with Dr. Walkup.
Excited. We're doing short films, all sorts of cool stuff, but we're talking about podcasts today, my friend.
That's right, podcasting, and a lot of changes that are going on, not necessarily at our school, but around the district as well. And so who better to talk to us about some of those changes? We're talking specifically distraction-free policy. We're going to have a director of communications, Dr. Michele Dugan. She's going to talk about what that looks like at a district level. We have our fearless leader, Miss Priscilla St. Jean. She's going to talk to us about what that looks like at a school level, at the local level. So let's get into the episode, but don't forget, we got a lot of stuff that you want to like and subscribe to, right? So if you follow us on Spotify, make sure, one, that you follow us on Spotify.
There we go.
Two, click the bell so you get a notification every time a new episode drops. Go to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Lots of
that way you get a notifications whenever a new episode of Bulldogs Unleashed drops. ONN,
there's too
Bulldog
many
Bites, all the productions.
Shorts.
Yes, all the productions. So you want to make sure you follow us on YouTube as well.
We got some behind us.
And also right behind us right there, hey, follow us on Instagram at Sikkim Studios. You want to follow us on Instagram. All the great things that's happening in this studio, you're going to see it on Instagram. So let's get into today's episode.
Let's go. Season 4.
In Sikkim Studios.
David Miller, who we got today?
Hey, we got some special people. We got our fearless leader, Miss St. Jean. We have our director of communications, Dr. Dugan, has joined us as well. So we're going to get right into it, and thank you both for being here in our new location of Sikkim Studios.
Thank you for having us.
Let's go.
Absolutely. So, Miss St. Jean, we're going to start with you, our fearless leader. Year 4.
Yes.
It's been a crazy start to the year.
Yes.
Why don't you tell our audience, our parents, our family members, what's been going on at Otwell the first few weeks of school?
Gosh, I mean, you kick off the school year with some school renovations, and I'm just so thankful and so grateful that, we live in a community where we can come together and provide our kids and provide our faculty members with the things that they need. We started off this school year with a new HVAC system, which we are super thankful for. I'm walking down the hallways and I feel a little chill every now and again.
My office is nice and cool. Thank you. Yes.
So that's wonderful. That's great. You can't beat that. We also started off the school year with our classrooms being painted. And I mean, what an opportunity to kick off a new school year for our kids and for our faculty members with a freshly painted classroom. I mean, everybody's just walked in, during open house. All parents were like, oh my gosh, the place looks amazing. Was this always here? Was this mural always here? Yeah, the mural was always here, but just the pop and just the freshness and the opportunity to give our kids and our faculty members a space where they could just stand up a little bit taller and say, wow, this place looks great. And kudos to our custodial staff who worked the entire summer through construction and worked alongside
hard
the construction
hats on,
crew.
right?
I mean, hard hats. They had those little booties on their shoes. I mean, if you can imagine it, it happened here in this building. And I got to give a shout out to Forsyth Central High School, who allowed our team to work out of their media center this summer. I mean, it's just, what a great way to kick off year 4. Like, this is our year. What a great way to kick off year 4.
Yeah. Great way to bring that central cluster together. We are a
Yes.
cluster, the Heart of Forsyth, and someone who is familiar with the cluster and the Heart of Forsyth is Dr. Dugan. Welcome back.
Dr. Dugan.
Back.
Yes.
We're going to say
In the
back home.
house.
Once a bulldog,
Always
always a
home.
bulldog.
Always
Always.
a bulldog.
Oh, for sure.
I have bulldog gear. I wear bulldog gear proudly, and glad to be back here in the heart of Forsyth.
Well, we're so excited to have you here to explain to our parents and to our community members this new thing, kind of, I guess, new initiative, kind of started back in the spring, I would say, with the Disconnect to Reconnect event in a town hall to, I guess, start our process there. What did that look like, and where are we now when we talk about our way to really disconnect to reconnect, right?
Yeah, well, we can back it up even further than that. For a few years, we've had conversations you all have heard from teachers, even from families that had maybe concerns about their students being distracted at school. And if our number one job here is to keep kids safe and also help them learn, then if there is a barrier to that, what could removing that barrier look like, which really kicked off that conversation. I would say, too, in the fall, really, we entered as a leadership cabinet at the Board of Education into a book study with something called The Anxious Generation. And it really highlights the national research that addresses how social media device use is impacting our students in a way that did not impact me. I don't want to speak for you all, but I certainly was not rolling
Us too.
around with a cell phone when I was in school. I did have a pager in high school.
Yes.
Very proud of that.
Yes.
Call me, beat me. But
Yes.
but it is different, right? And so after reviewing that book, our Board of Education, our board members really charged us as leaders to look at what's going on, what do our kids need, what's the local research, and does it match the national research? And we found it did. So we went forward with working with advisories, hosting a town hall, engaging our families, and making a decision to create a policy that benefited our kids.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that town hall. I wasn't able to attend, but I did see the video. It's online on our website for people to view. A lot of parent involvement and I guess feedback, which was good feedback. What did you take away from that town hall?
Yeah, that was probably one of my best memories of the past year. Just the ability to bring in our families, and not only our families, but staff attended, our local legislative delegation attended, we had the sheriff's office attend. So a lot of people were heavily invested. And so we shared that research that I spoke about a moment ago. And we also invited feedback. So old school, people up at mics, sharing their thoughts, asking questions, engaging. And really, that's what we want as a community. So we took that feedback as a school system, and we actually made some adjustments based on that feedback to the policy that was proposed to the board.
Love that.
Yeah.
And I think too, I guess when you make that plan, are you modeling it after other districts? Because that what you just went through was a pretty intensive list, which is amazing. But was there a model? Are we kind of the model for other schools to follow when it came to, I guess, those decision making?
It's a great question. You know, we are, quite honestly, not the first state to start to put legislation into place that addresses this. There are states that have had this in place a few years. Certainly, we looked to them to learn from them. We spoke
Okay.
with neighboring counties and systems that had maybe had this in place for a year. There was a system locally that had this in place for several years at this point. So we learned a lot from them. We learned what worked. We learned what didn't work and made adjustments accordingly. But it really was a team effort. I mean, from our school building leaders, our teachers, our students, all had input on it. And I think that's what's made it hopefully successful in our buildings now.
And I would like, as a follow-up question, Dr. Dugan, like, it's obviously something new, right? And we're trying to live through, like, I guess for you guys at the district, what would be a measure of, like, success of, like, okay, this is something that's really was beneficial and working? And is there a timeline in place? Or, like, what does that look like on y'all's end?
Sure. So one of the things that we focused on, even in preparing the policy, was what does this look like in our classrooms, with our teachers, with our kids in reality? Because we know that sometimes policy happens, and
Right.
what it looks like in reality might feel different. What's great is we do have a plan. We've gone out into schools already. So we've been into all of our schools as leaders to check in with leaders, check in with principals, teachers, students, see how it's going. We'll have a video series coming out where students will be sharing their experiences with
That's great.
distraction-free
I love that.
education. We've talked to a few parents who are ready and just want to share their story of what this has done for their family and their kids, and just have those periodic check-ins to know and stay on pace. Is this working? What impact does it have ultimately on student learning and well-being? Because that really is the crux and the focus of this work.
I love that because it's not just up top, right? David, it's what does it look like locally?
Locally, yep.
Which we have someone who's dealing with it locally.
Absolutely. So, Ms. St. Jean, we'll go to you next. What does that look like at Otwell when we talk about distraction-free? Really, it probably hasn't changed a lot, for being honest, because at the middle school level, we've kind of been doing this for a while, right?
I mean, fortunately for us at the middle school level, to your point, for the last 4 or 5 years, we made a collective decision as a middle school level to just go ahead, turn the phones off, and put them in your lockers, because we wanted a more engaging environment for our kids. I really have to take my hat off to the county office for the way that they did the research behind this idea, right? What is it that we're really trying to connect to? What is it that we really want? What does our strategic plan say? What does our vision say as a district? Where are we trying to go? And they were able to come together, pull the research together, and put together a policy that not only we can stand by, is for the benefit of the children in our community, and is for the benefit of all stakeholders in our community, really. The way that they rolled it out in terms of, you guys mentioned the town hall. I attended that town hall. How well researched, how well organized, and how well executed, not just to present the information to the greater public, but also to gain insight from how the public really feels. Not just parents and adults in the community, and not just faculty members. We had students come up to the podium and speak and share their experience with technology, and even share pros and cons for what they thought about this policy. So I mean, just kudos to our district office for really taking the time on the front end to really talk through. And then on the second part, how are we communicating this out to our community? Because we all know clear, consistent, and early communication is the key to make sure everybody knows, okay, what is expected of us? If I do have an emergency, how can I contact my child? And it's something that we talked about during pre-planning with our faculty. And I feel like our team did a really good job, not only supporting the communication that came from the county office, but also having face-to-face communication with our teachers to talk through what is this going to look like when the kids come back. And we shared with our faculty, families, parents, they are used to having instant communication with their child. We're no longer living in a space when we were kids in the 80s, 90s, or the early 2000s where you go outside and you come back before the lights turn on. And I don't know what you're doing all day. Parents are used to having that instant communication. So as much as we talked about the kids letting go, this was a space where parents had to let go. And that's a scary space to be. So when we were breaking this down and talking it through with our teachers, remember the space that our parents are in too. Right, we've got to be able to navigate this delicately, to have the conversations, and to make sure that people feel comfortable with where we're going. Like they've got to be able to trust us. And so I just feel like the planning of it, the research behind it, the communication to roll it out, it was the right way, and I think we rolled it out in the correct form.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the book that you mentioned, The Anxious Generation. You've talked about that, and I haven't gotten all the way through it, but I've started reading it, the data that's in there, and talking about being able to let go as a parent a little bit, let the kids be kids, and that's a challenge, and it's a mind shift that we're gonna have to go through. You also talked about communications, getting that out there, and so we have our director of communications out. Dr. Dugan here. So what else can we look forward to this year from the communications department? We've had a lot going on. We had the distraction-free policy. We have a new website that is up and running for all of our school system, or for all of our schools. What else can we look forward to from the communications department?
Well, that was a big, exciting lift for us last year. You might have, woken up one morning and realized that when you clicked on the Forsyth County Schools district website, it looks a little different.
Yes.
Really, we are upgrading and making sure that our sites are not only giving our parents, to Ms. St. Jean's point, the information they need and the ways to contact their kids and to know who their teachers are and how their kids are learning. We want to make sure, too, that those websites are accessible to every single member of our community. And so moving into making sure that websites have the accessibility, have the ADA guidelines, have, all the things that make it possible for our families to engage with our schools through the websites. I mean, that's a huge key focus. So that was a lift from last year. This year, we're kicking off our staff and family newsletters. So excited to reimagine what communication looks like. You can look forward to a few more videos in nature. You maybe saw Superintendent Mitch Young shared a video about distraction-free education with our families. And we don't have have a studio quite this nice at the district office. But if we could get into Sikkim Studios here and maybe shoot a few videos, that is something that we're really looking forward to, that our board is looking forward to, and just knocking some fun projects out for our families and our kids.
I love that. And what I love, before we wrap it up, David, is the part of the district. You sometimes see it as this big over everything, right? And it sometimes may not take the time to see what's going on with boots in the ground. I always talk about. But I'm in a unique position. One, I'm a teacher, and two, I'm a parent here, right? So I'm a satisfied customer from the communication, because it's very seamless from district to local to parents to teachers. There's no gray. There's no this is what it is. This is means, and that helps me as a teacher and a parent of a child here to kind of say, here are the expectations, just like we do with our kids, and this is how we can be successful. So thank you from the district office, and then from our local, from Miss St. Jean. It's, to me, I've called it like magic in my classroom. The other day I took a picture of kids. They were early finishers, and they were playing Jenga, and they're just hanging out, and they were talking. And I love that. Yes, I'm old. I'm a 90s kid, and that's how we roll. We drank from the hose, right? And we went outside and those things too. But for me, to see them be kids in my classroom and not worrying about being so connected to that notification, I've seen nothing but positive from the teacher side. And so thank you for rolling that out with legislation, obviously, and thank you, Miss St. Jean, for what that's looked like at Otwell. I'm a satisfied customer on that point.
Yeah, but I have to agree with you, though, Greg. I mean, it's to watch our kids connect like just kids, and not have the pressure and the obligation of going to look at the phone for the notification. That's a lot of pressure on a kid. There is an obligation that if you can feel that phone vibrate, or if you can hear that ding, I've got to go and look at it. How liberating is it for a child to not have to even worry? It's turned off. I don't even have to worry about that anymore. I can just be a kid. And a gift that we've given our kids is to just be a kid, to be in the classroom, to be engaged with your peers and your teachers, and have fun at school again.
It's been great. I've loved it.
And it's here. I mean, the great thing is, too, I see it with staff. Are modeling these practices. It's incredible. I had the opportunity to come to Otwell the first few weeks, and just to see the kids not worried. I come to you as a parent too. I am in a brand new world of high school and middle school, and I will tell you, the first day somebody said, "How's your son doing? How's high school?" And I said, I don't know, because distraction-free education means he's not on his phone. But I did get a good report at the end of the day, and the fact that he was playing games at lunch with his friends, Uno. In the cafeteria, in person. I'm incredibly proud of the team effort and everything you all are doing at Otwell. You've had a tradition of making this a safe, wonderful, excellent place to learn, but I think this is just one step further. So kudos to you all.
The Jenga, the Connect Four, it's back, baby.
Gosh,
we should have invested.
I saw 2 synergy classes on Wellness Wednesday last week. They had a rock, paper, scissors competition. They're outside on the practice field. Okay,
Bring
2 classes.
Love that.
Going head to head.
I love it.
I mean,
that's how it should be.
That's what it's about.
This is it.
Love that. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, for being here. We appreciate what you do for our district and for our schools, and we're just thankful for that communication. How Greg said is seamless from the district level to the school level. We just thank you for all your work. So
thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Man, Coach, what a phenomenal episode. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of great information there. I love what you said, talking about it as a parent. So if you think about it, the Georgia law is K through 8. Our district went K through 12 with it for distraction free. As parents of kids of high schoolers, we love this policy. I do. I don't want to speak for you, but I think we've seen the benefits of what that looks like at the high school level as well, so that you can disconnect to reconnect to your friends. I know at my son's school, he's at the high school at Forsyth Central. You talked about in the episode how some of your kids are of what they're doing inside class now, that they're able to disconnect.
Again,
they're playing games.
Yeah, I love it.
My son, he's at lunch. They're throwing the frisbee on the field. They're just doing it outside.
Love it.
Being kids. Love that our district has provided that opportunity for our kids to do that. And I love how Miss St. Jean, we've been doing this for a while here at Otwell, right?
Yeah, just kind of filtered down, Coach, to what we've been doing, and Miss St. Jean kind of just set those expectations with both staff, teachers, and students, and first few weeks of school have been great with that, and I just can't wait to see this kind of momentum continue.
No, for sure. And we thank you so much for listening to the Bulldogs Unleashed podcast. My name is David Miller, reminding you to dream boldly. Thanks again.